morning from Easier Habits Live. I'm Alec.
And I am Meg.
And today we're going to be talking about our learnings from the first week of our 4-month sprint.
Yay.
And first, a communication tip.
Communication tip. Woohoo! So I am going to round out this week of the, kind of talking to yourself and the different ways that you do that with something that for me is a good reminder, which is the things that your brain focuses on, right, become easier to focus on. Now, we all have this negativity bias as part of our evolution. It has helped keep us safe in the past and keep us as part of our groups that were, tribes or whatever. But unfortunately, because of that, we also these days have a tendency to end up ruminating a lot. And those thoughts and negative thought patterns will then reinforce themselves to the point where you will also start to believe them a lot more. And I find this a lot in my own life that as, I'm thinking like I'm being objective about everything. I'm really not, right? It's very hard to be objective about yourself. And so one of the things I try to do as I'm, thinking about these things is thinking about how is this thought pattern going to affect future thought patterns. So it's kind of similar to talking to your future self, except thinking again about that process. So as you are, kind of going back and forth about ideas or feeling bad about a mistake that you made, right? Think about, okay, well, if I focus on all of the bad things that I did, then I'm going to just feel bad about myself and continue that pattern. Conversely, if I think, oh, it's going to be fine, it'll be great, right? Your mind might also gloss over the reality of the situation. And so being able to look at it in a way that will reinforce the types of thought patterns that you want moving forward, where you can accept the reality of what is, while also being open to the possibility of change for the better.
Yeah. So, thinking about how you're practicing ways of thinking, right, and how what you think and focus on gets easier to think about. Mm-hmm. How has our structure of tasks this week changed or not changed your ability to focus on the work?
It's been really good. So there's a couple of things that have been going on this week, which are, getting over the jet lag, getting back into the swing of this kind of work after doing something else, right? So a lot of that task shifting. And as we talked about a little bit yesterday, there was, there's that kind of like slower ramp up. Mm-hmm. But as I've started to do it and gained momentum, each day it's gotten easier to focus on the stuff that I feel like I should be focusing on, at least for this particular goal, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the things that is also helpful to remind myself of, that even on those first couple of days that are super hard to focus and I'm just like, I don't want to do this, that by going through the action of doing it, it becomes easier.
Yep. And I think a lot of our goal for this first week is just to establish that routine and baseline, so that we can start to tweak things for next week. So Yay. We're running an ad. We don't have leads yet. Excuse my voice. We're running an ad. We don't have leads yet, but all right, we have a baseline. So now we've got some things to experiment with for next week. And, that includes experimenting more with the image creative, experimenting with the targeting, especially, I think, are the two areas where I have different headlines, I have different copy, but I'd like to try to see if there's different results in those areas. So what is going to change for you next week?
change for me next week is I'm going to start with this kind of momentum. Right. And so that's going to be nice that I'll be able to, you know, not have to gain the momentum quite so much, but be able to, you know, I've worked on how I'm doing my prioritization this week and how I'm doing my kind of personal scheduling so that I'll be able to, you know, first thing Monday morning, get into it and be able to move forward.
Right. And it's for you, it might not be new things as much as consistency of outreach.
Yeah.
But we can dive into how that's going, specifically what you're doing for the outreach and how that's going, what else we could try.
Yep.
And that sounds like something to dive into next week.
Yes.
It's the specific outreach strategies. And then in, not next week, but the week after, that will be the first one.
I'm excited.
Of your 5-day challenge. So.
Of which I actually already have 7 people signed up.
Awesome. So that's great. You mentioned yesterday you might also ask them for referrals or bringing friends. Have you done that?
I didn't because I already got 7 and I was like, uh-oh, if I get any more, then we're going to hit my 5 to 10. So...
Is it bad if we have more than 10?
That's what I wasn't sure. Is, like we said 5 to 10. Are we capping it? Are we allowing more? I don't know.
So, yeah, we should definitely have more. I think that was like a minimum.
Okay.
All right. But so, and like thinking forward, right? It might be tempting, right? To be like, oh, if I can get more people, you know, I could, if I have 5 to 10 now, then, and I want that in the next one, then I'll just ask for referrals on the next one. And, you know, I would say 2 things is like, well, but if you have more people, then there's more people you can ask for referrals from at the end of this one, right? So you can get the referrals with referrals. So I wouldn't cap it that way. And the other thing is, you know, try and get as many as you can so that you are, so next time it might be a challenge to get a whole new crop of people, but that's where we're going to grow, right?
Yes. Sorry, I heard a whole new crop of people.
Sorry.
It's okay. No.
I probably need to take a break. My voice is dying.
I'm so sorry for you.
Let's see if I can squeeze out a business tip.
I'm sorry. The image in my brain, I'm sure you can understand.
Absolutely. Anyway.
Allergies are terrible here right now, by the way. Like, spring has started. The trees are all, like, just barely getting into bloom and, you know, their first leaves and whatever, which basically means that, you know, your already intense tendency to have infections just gets worse.
Yeah, and I've been having throat issues for a week, so. But I've been talking about how to focus in the business and basically how to narrow down what you should be focusing on. Once you know what you should be focusing on, think about chunking in terms of scheduling during your day. For example, rather than checking your email throughout the day, have specific periods to go through your email and focus on that, and specific periods to focus on outreach or ads, marketing, developing new products, whatever it is. So give yourself time to focus in large chunks so you don't have as much task switching during the day.
Yep. Good tip. I like it. We should stop talking. Well, you should stop talking. I guess I could keep going.
Shut up. All right. Until Monday, make big changes, one small habit at a time.